afternoon, you're watching The Big Story. I'm Sanjana Chauhan. Mumbai civic body, the BMC, has admitted that 96% of its roads inspected in Mumbai are in a bad shape. The BMC's vigilance department has revealed that 194 of the 187 roads it inspected were in a very bad condition. Now, 26 contractors have been served notices by the civic body because they failed to follow the defect liability period criteria. In other words, these roads will be ruined even before the contractor's guarantee period concludes. As per conditions, a road is expected to be maintained by the contractor for 3 years after construction. So this is what we're actually discussing this afternoon, because it has been a lot of time, it is high time, a lot of accidents, a lot of deaths that we've seen, citizens now demanding answers of the BMC. Now, let me quickly introduce my panel this afternoon. I have Ravi Raja, leader of the opposition in the BMC, joining me, China NC spokesperson of the BJP. But before I come to you, let me quickly go across to my colleague Amita Balachandra, who is standing by in Mumbai from one of the several roads, let's remember, that have been reported as being in a poor condition. Amita, on what grounds have these roads been inspected, and more importantly, what are the defects that have been found in these roads?
Well, the biggest defect, according to the vigilance report, is that in most of the cases, the top layer, for instance, has been worn out. I'm in one of those spots. In fact, out of the 197 spots that were surveyed, 184 of them are in bad condition. We inspected at least 4 to 5 spots today. We are here at Airport Road, and you will see that this entire road is completely worn out. The top layer is completely gone. The BMC's vigilance report very clearly points out that there are defects in quality and the execution. There was lack of supervision as far as these roads are concerned, and these were all before, well within their liability period, which means the contractor's guarantee period, and it's different for every road. This, for instance, here at this place, the BMC very clearly points out that they were well within 3 years. In fact, there are different liability periods for different kinds of roads. Cement road, for instance, 10 years. Asphalt is for 3 years. But the BMC's vigilance department report very clearly says that out of that, 96% of the roads, like this one, is in completely bad condition. You will see the entire top layer at this point here in this particular road is completely worn out, and that is exactly what it says. And the BMC is now going to, has in fact already issued notices to at least 26 contractors, we understand. But people who have been talking to say that this happens year on year. In 2016, there was a massive scam as well, 350 crore rupee scam. 6 contractors were blacklisted. It happens every single time. Notices are issued, but it repeats every year as well.
Right, Amita, thank you so much for bringing us those updates and actually taking us through the pathetic condition of the roads in Mumbai. Shaina and see, the question we're asking today is simple. Does the BMC need a structural overhaul? Because how long is this actually going to go on for?
Well, I do agree that, there are many roads which are in bad condition, lots of potholes which need not just an overall, but a question when it comes to the products being used, whether it is cement, asphalt, other solutions, and how the maintenance is going to be. So I think what our Chief Minister said is absolutely correct. The 26 contractors who have been issued a notice is one aspect, which is fear of law. But the more serious part is that the pathetic roads that continue in our city, which bring normal life to a standstill, can only be looked over by instead of multiple agencies, by a single agency. So the Chief Minister said there will be a single agency that looks at the potholes of the city, which is Mumbai and Greater Mumbai, and there will be another committee that overlooks the work done. So if a contractor has not done his job, not to be paid or to be penalized for the same. Currently, what is the scenario? We have the BMC, we have the MMRDA, the MSRDC, the PWD, multiple agencies and no accountability. If you need a report card where you want to showcase the works which have been done well, that too must be overlooked by these agencies. And I think that the two agencies that the Chief Minister has talked about is a long-term solution. Yes, Mumbai has had very haphazard infrastructure bursting at its seams, and the Mumbai Metro, as well as the Coastal Road, as well as the Trans-Harbour Link will be relief. However, that cannot absolve the BMC of its basic responsibility of providing citizens with good roads, and the liability has to be an onus on the person who has either the contractor or the administration that has chosen to pay him for a wrong shoddy job. So that can be the long-term solution. And there is a warranty that has been brought about by certain contractors who have said a 3-year period, because if you use asphalt, there is a technology which works for 3 years and one for 5 years. I think all of these need to be debated about, but eventually it is taxpayers' money. It is all of us who will be the beneficiaries or the sufferers in the days to come.
Right, so this is actually an admission being made by the BMC, Ravi Raja, because this happens so often. Are these notices to these contractors merely enough? When is the accountability actually going to be fixed on the people actually taking the decisions?
So, Sanjana, I've got the report with me. And if you go through the report, it's a very alarming report. And this has happened 3-4 years back, in 2015-16. The same thing has happened, and it has been repeated after 3 years. In the report, if you see, out of 197 roads, they saw that 186 roads were in a bad state. And in the report, it is said that the quality of the material used, that the gradation, faulty mixed design, there was poor quality of bitumen and not maintaining proper bitumen, inferior quality of coal and prime coat material, and then during execution, temperature of bitumen not maintained at the time of laying, and wearing course not laid within 48 hours, and important is the lack of supervision at the time of execution of work. Now this supervision has to be done by the BMC officials. What they were doing, when the supervision, if the supervision would have been proper, very strictly maintained as per the tender condition or as per the specification, I think today this would have not happened. The other thing is that this road is, we have spent more than 700 crore for the roads for the past 2 years. Now that 700 crore has gone down the drain. 700 crore is the taxpayer money of the Mumbaikars. I want to clearly state that there is a nexus between the contractor and the engineers and the ruling dispensation sitting in the corporation. Now they have to be accountable to.
Okay, but Mr. Raja, I think I know what the report says. I know what the report says, and I think most of Mumbai also knows what the report says without actually getting into the technicalities and the quality of the materials mix, because we travel on these roads every day. We know how terrible and bad these roads are. And quite honestly, what I'm asking today is simple, because it appears that even the opposition is not doing anything. The opposition isn't really doing anything. You are sitting here reading off numbers, telling me how many roads are bad, how much money has been spent.
Sanjana.
But why isn't the opposition doing anything about this? This is why I'm asking, does the BMC need a structural overhaul? Are you trying to tell me that this richest civic body cannot work and function correctly?
No, Sanjana, I would like to state that as an opposition, we have been raising this issue. I have been raising this issue in the corporation. I have written number of letters to the commissioner, and now time has come, there should be a structural change. I agree to that. But the nexus between the contractor who been blacklisted in 2016-17 has come out again in other name. They should be blacklisted, and the directors of that contractor or the company should be blacklisted. What is the ruling dispensation, the Shivsena? They are ruling Mumbai. What they are doing? It is not their responsibility
Why
to
isn't the
see that,
BMC,
that
why is
they
there
see
no
that the
more
proper
action
work
being
is done.
taken as opposed to just a blacklist on, a paper and that we're forgotten about, where a contractor can actually make an
Why?
appearance, in another
FI,
form under another name? Why are we
no, no,
working with the same people and, killing more people in the city of Mumbai, causing more inconvenience, causing more injuries and accidents?
so file an
I'm going to
FIR,
bring in Shaina NC.
put
Just a
them into
second.
jail.
Just a second, Mr.
There is a
Raja.
law there.
Let Shaina respond. Just a second.
File an
Shaina, go
FIR.
ahead. Mr. Raja, 1 second.
I think if we want to talk about positive governance, Sanjana, it starts with acceptance. Now, the BMC has inspected from this report about 196 to 200 roads, of which the critical areas have been brought into the public domain. 26 contractors have been blacklisted. Of the 187 roads which have been found unsafe, there is a blueprint which is how fast they are going to be repaired and what the process of payment is going to be for them. Now, let's not forget whether it was the 63-year-old who died in Mulund or the 22-year-old who died in Mumbai or the doctor who died in Thane or the issue in Kalyan. These are not cases which are just going to be lost like this. So I think that if you have the courage of conviction to accept there is a problem and then to say this is the solution to the problem and these have been the lacunas in the past, that would be the correct process of ensuring us collectively being a part of the solution and not the problem. Now, the reality is that even when we came to power 5 years ago, Devendra Fadnavis made a conscious decision where he said that we do not want to sit in power in the BMC. We want to play checks and balances. We want to ensure that there is no corruption in the administration, and we will do so. The reality is that if you have these two agencies who overlook the roads of Mumbai and larger greater Mumbai, then that is a long-term solution. Better use of products, better use time-bound repair works, that ensures that the money spent is not spent and respent monsoon after monsoon. And yes, we would want to have a situation where we have roads which are just top of the line, but for that you need to understand that the influx of Mumbai, which has been increasing year after year, is also a huge problem that contributes towards bad or shoddy roads.
Right, but
The
Shaina, I'm
incessant
sorry,
rain that
I'm
we have
sorry.
been
These
having,
roads
the
actually
erratic
cannot. It's
climatic
not.
conditions
I'm
which have
talking
caused
about a
over
year-on-year
Mumbai.
deterioration. I'm not talking about 10 years. I'm talking on
Every
about
year
a
it is
year-on-year
happening.
deterioration. We can't blame an influx of people traveling on the road. That's what the road is meant for. Let me bring in Deepak
Yeah,
Singh.
you can't
Let me
blame.
bring in Deepak Singh. Just a second. I'm going to bring in Deepak Singh. He's one of the petitioners in the Bombay High Court. We spoke with him last evening as well. He's claimed that hundreds of accidents have occurred in the last 2 years because of potholes on the highway. He also, let's remember, asked for criminal accountability to be fixed on government officials as well. Deepak ji, thank you so much for joining us again on Mirror Now this afternoon. What we're seeing today is that the BMC ne khud admit kiya hai that 96% of the roads that they've only inspected. We don't know about the other roads because I'm sure once we actually look at those, even those will have issues. 96% of the roads are in a bad condition. आपने petition file किया है. Have you seen anything change from then to now?
Yeah, there is a little bit change on the highway, which is under PWD.
Okay.
But in the case of BMC, I can only say they are the shameless organization. If they are telling now that there is a 96% roads are in bad condition, but trust me, these roads are in bad condition from 2017. Many people have lost their life in the road accident. But now it's a election time, it's a high time. So they are just claiming like this. But as China is telling that the government has done something for the people, then 5 years is a very big period. In that period, they could have done a lot of things for the public. But trust me, not a single contractor has been punished, not a single officer has been punished. Basically, जब कोई एक्सीडेंट होता है तो पब्लिक को जाना पड़ता है पुलिस में कंप्लेन करने. एंड पुलिस क्या करती है कि जो ट्रक ड्राइवर है या फिर इंजीनियर है या फिर जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के आदमी उन पे केस करके केस रफा दफा कर देती है. बट इट मस्ट बी द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट कि अगर गवर्नमेंट की जो अथॉरिटी अगर एमएमआरडीए है या फिर बीएमसी इनके अंडर में रोड है तो उनको केस फाइल करना चाहिए कॉन्ट्रैक्टर पे, ना कि पब्लिक को। उनकी वजह से लोगों का डेथ हो रहा है। अगर इसमें क्रिमिनल पीआईएल में मैंने सीधा यही मांग की है हाई कोर्ट में कि दोज हु आर कल्प्रिट दे शुड हेल्ड अकाउंटेबल फॉर दिस एक्सीडेंट। बिकॉज अगर किसी बिल्डिंग में 2 आदमी गिर जाते हैं तो पुलिस इज वेरी क्विक टू अरेस्ट द बिल्डर, और अगर कोई फैक्ट्री में आग लग गया तो फैक्ट्री के मालिक को तुरंत का तुरंत अरेस्ट कर लेती है। बट इन केस ऑफ रोड एक्सीडेंट देयर एटीट्यूड इज क्वाइट डिफरेंट बिकॉज इट इज डायरेक्टली अंडर द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र. They are not allowing police to file the case on themselves. So wherever there is an accident, there should be the case on the people, those who are responsible for maintaining the road. And maintenance of the road means not only the contractor, it goes to the officers also and higher officer. In fact, they are the men who take the decision. China is just trying to save their government during this election time. But you have seen this year situation like water logging, potholes. ये 96% उन्होंने कहाँ सर्वे किया पता नहीं, but I can say 100% of the road. एक्सपेक्ट जो मंत्रालय और जो क्रीम एरिया के इनके जो रोड्स है बालकेश्वर, ये छोड़कर सारे रोड्स मुंबई के खराब हैं। आप किसी भी रोड्स पे जाओ आपको खड्डे मिलेंगे ही मिलेंगे, ढक्कन टूटे हुए मिलेंगे। मतलब किसी भी रोड्स को बीएमसी क्लेम नहीं कर सकते कि ये रोड अच्छा है। तो करती क्या है ये लोग पूरे साल?
Okay, so Ravi Raja, what's really happening in the BMC? Because it appears that the condition doesn't seem to be improving. The citizens are enraged. There are deaths year on year. I mean, if any Mumbaikar were to go out and step out and actually, go for a drive or even attempt to walk on the street, it's absolutely hell. But yet, you're telling me that in the BMC, there is, no system. We're not listening to each other. The opposition's claims and what they are trying to do are not being paid attention to. There are several agencies functioning. This is just another way to pass the buck. So does the BMC actually need a change? It needs to be structured well. There has to be a new system as opposed to what's happening right now?
No, already BMC has got a, good structure. The commissioner is an IAS officer. There are 4 additional commissioners and 1 additional commissioner who looks after the road department, and they have got chief engineers. Everybody is accountable. Here is that there's no will. They have to have a will to see that such roads are not constructed. What when Shainaji was saying that they are sitting in the corporation for checks and balance for last 5 years, last 2.5 years. What is happening there? They are sitting with the same Shiv Sena people. They are supporting Shiv Sena people. How can they say that checks and balances? What happened last year and why it is happening again this year? Somewhere, accountability has to be fixed. Here, we have to see that, if the roads are bad and because of the pothole, people die, the responsibility has to be owned by the BMC, by the officer. File a FIR against them, put them into jail. That should be the law. Because today what happens, unless the accountability is not there, FIR is, police case is not filed, they are saying that क्या होता है, हर साल होता है, अगले साल भी वैसे होगा. I think somewhere now time has come that, the BMC has to put up the sleeves. You are putting more agency so that there will be more corruption. Stop the corruption, stop more agency, fix the responsibility on the officer, on the contractor, and when you're ruling the city of Mumbai and people, taxpayer money is being, just slaughtered, how can you do that? You have to see that, the money which has been spent is spent properly. It has been done, see that, proper. Why city of Mumbai? Mumbai is an international city. How can you expect that, every year you are getting the same potholes on the same roads? It's a shame on the part of the BMC. Shame on the part of the ruling dispensation also. And the shame on the part of the people who are saying that, we are making checks and balances. There is no checks and balances. I have been raising this issue every year. I have been writing letters and I have taken up the matter in the standing committee also. But same thing, they are having more members in the house and they are passing on the basis of the majority. We have opposed so many times some proposals.
So, Shaina, it appears that Ravi Raja is saying that there are already positions within the BMC to actually look at these issues, to actually take notice and take action against this these bad roads and all of these infrastructural issues in the city. So then why isn't it happening? Why is the Chief Minister now proposing at the fag end of his tenure that he's going to be setting up these two agencies? Why wasn't this done 5 years ago? Even if we were to accept that, look, another department or these two agencies are actually going to help the case of bad roads.
Look, the reality is that the Congress NCP were in power for 15 years. There was no development plan. There was rampant infrastructure collapse with all kinds of illegal construction, and there was never a priority to making this city a top-class, world-class city. Now, in these 5 years, sir, it's not just one agency. I just highlighted that it's not just the BMC, it's the MMRDA, MSRDC, you know better than me, PWD, and multiple other agencies. So the reality is that Devendra Fadnavis did try his level best to ensure that faulty contractors, as we speak, are sitting in jail, which in itself creates fear of law. The 26 contractors that have been issued notices is a step in the right direction. What is the long-term solution? Of course, to have pothole-free roads, but to also have a parallel line to release the infrastructure with transportation, commuters being given the options of the metro, railways, the coastal road, the buses, etc., so that we are sure that in the process of revamping our roads, we also revamp connectivity, which is so important for the lakhs and lakhs of people who commute through Mumbai and Greater Mumbai every single day. I do believe that yes, accountability can only be held if there is one agency and not multiple agencies. And that's why when the Chief Minister says one agency to look at the repair of roads and one agency to oversee it and decide whether they should be paid for their work, how they should be dealt with, so there is full 100% accountability. Right now, what is the process? The process is there is a pothole, somebody dies of an accident, and you lodge an FIR, and it's the car who was either trying to overtake you or push you to the side or has been a part of the entire accident. That is not a solution. Solution is the contractor. The solution is the administration, and the solution is 100% accountability, for which our government has worked tirelessly towards, and 5 years is just not sufficient. I can assure you in the next 5 years, we will have Mumbai as a world-class city.
Okay, remains to be seen. Ravi Raja, Shaina NC, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm afraid that's all the time we have on the big story today. The bad roads in Mumbai, is it ever going to be fixed? And more importantly, does the BMC need a structural overhaul? Thank you so much for watching.